Fishes!
Cool. Thank you so much, Siv, for joining me.
Yeah, man.
You are one guy that I always see that you fucking work hard. Like, I know you work hard. I'm always checking you on social media. You're always doing something. It's like, where do you find the time and balance with life and like work?
I think for me, thanks for having me, man. I've been watching a lot of your stuff and seeing what you're doing. You work consistently as well. I think I come from a sporting background. I treat the industry like it's sport. If I was playing sport, I wouldn't be sitting on my couch every single day, letting my muscles deteriorate. So I always have to be doing something creative continuously. I was got to be creating and absolutely. And there's a part of me that I have an ego. So I want to destroy everyone. I want everyone to see the back of me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I want to be the best, and I'll.
Because I checked your profile a while ago. You've been doing the pole dancing thing and everything.
Yeah. So for me, my mission and my goal is just to be one of the best. Yeah. And if I'm not the best, I'll outwork you, and I'll outlearn, and I'll do everything that I can. I'm an acquired taste, and that's how I like it. I'm like sushi, caviar. Oysters and anal sex. Anal sex is great, but if you don't like it, you don't like it.
Yeah. And I always think like what you said now with like outworking somebody, and obviously there's a clever way of doing that, but it's one of those things where I always find that I'm constantly pushing and constantly working, and I say the same thing myself. Like I'll outwork it because while everybody's asleep, while everybody's on holiday, while everybody's out on the weekend, I'm fucking working. Yeah. If I'm not on set, or if I'm not writing something, if I'm not getting a pitch deck together, I'm constantly always doing that. And I must admit, like I find it hard to balance my normal life and my film work, because for me, what makes me happy is film. What makes me happy is me working. That's what gives me the biggest pleasure in my life. And then when I'm not working, I'm just down, and I feel like my life's just like mediocre as fuck.
So another thing that people don't realize is that another thing that I love is resting.
Yeah.
Like the most important part of it is rest. People think that the muscles grow in the gym alone. Actually, they don't. They grow in the kitchen, and they grow when you're sleeping. Yeah. And if you're not feeding your mind, if you're not feeding your body, and you're not resting, you're gonna hit a wall at a certain stage.
Yeah. You gotta watch you don't burn out.
Yeah. But for me, I love doing what I do, and I don't do anything I don't want to do. And yeah, man, I'll continuously evolve. You cannot put me in a hole I can't get out of. There are many more people who are more talented than me out there. I know they are, but I'll outwork them, and I'll sell my talents better than they could sell their talents. Because I said to a young lady yesterday, actually, she was asking me for advice, and I said, she's 21, and I was like, oh man, advice. I said, if you're a great singer and you're in the shower and you're singing well and no one hears you singing, doesn't matter. Doesn't really give a fuck. No one gives a fuck if you sing well in your shower, right? That's got to do with marketing. You got to market your skills. You got to get out there. It doesn't matter if you sing well in the shower. Yeah. And secondly, you got to say no. No is the most important word in this industry. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, okay, cool, you're 21.
Well, it's fucking powerful to say that.
Yeah. So she's 21, so I was like, okay, cool. She won't understand this. I said, treat the industry like you treat your vagina. You'll say more no's to men than you'll say yes. Yeah. And when you do say yes, it'll mean something. Yeah. Then she was like, oh, yes.
She said that.
It's very important. Because another thing you don't realize, if a project's offering you R2, and you say no to it because it's not paying you your worth, when you do say yes, the next project could be paying you R8, and you'll make the money you lost. So yeah, I think no is the most important word in this industry.
Yeah. Well, I always say, when I'm up for like a commercial, which is good money, and then there's TV and film, which is not paying as much. But when you look at that, it's like, okay, great money for the commercial, but at the same time for the TV and film, that's career. That's worth way more than this commercial job. You know what I mean? And it's you got to make those right decisions.
Yeah, it is. I don't do commercials anymore, really. It's unless it's like an endorsement. For me, I want to invoice Siv. I want to send invoices to myself. You know what I mean? More and more and more and more. Like sometimes you jump into a set and you realize, wait a minute, I'm a fuckwall. I'm a nothing in this. I'm just like a drop in the ocean here. They don't really give a fuck about us, especially the internationals. They don't really give a fuck about us. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But no, I love what I do, and I want to die doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. That's why, like, the film industry to me it's just like everything. And that's why I always feel like my normal life is so mediocre to what it is, and I strive to. That's what makes me happy. That's what makes me tick, and that's how I get my kicks. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. But I was just thinking now. I just remembered. You must remember this. I did that.
Composites.
Yeah, actually, I think it was before Composites or maybe after Composites. Maybe it was probably before. We did that small ad together.
Which one?
That was while I was in the film school. Wasn't it for like Spectavision or whatever the fuck it was
Yeah,
called?
yeah,
And it was like you driving in the car.
Yes,
I can't even remember it. I didn't even have it. But then it was Composites when we met, and I've got a picture. I can't remember if I sent it to you or sent it to Rob. So it's you, Rob Fiorin, me, and Gary, Gary Green. And there's a picture of all four of us standing there. And we look all so young.
Yeah. And Rob's career is going so well. One of the most talented people. One of the most talented people I know. And I think even Rob was always been talented, but now his business side has improved immensely, and he's cognizant of how talented he is. And more people are seeing how talented he is. And now he's working nonstop. But Rob's always been talented. Like that singer's always been able to sing in her shower. But now he's able to sing outside.
Yeah, Rob is great. I mean, I watched that South African series that he was in.
Ludic.
Ludic, He was great in that.
No, it's incredible. He's incredible.
He's so good. And he's got a lot to offer. And there's a lot of people that's starting to notice all these characters and how good he is. But he's got a lot to offer, and he's gonna keep climbing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So how do you feel now, like with like the industry of like where you are now, and if you had to put all your energy into one thing, what would it be? Because you're also doing a bit of producing now as well.
Yeah,
right?
man, I'm an actor, man. I'm an actor. There's something about acting that just makes me so happy. Something about it that is so complex, but then so simple at the same time. There's something about it that's just like it's a zing. There's this feeling inside that just zings, and I'm nowhere close to being as good as I have the possibility to be. I don't think South Africa has a culture of training and pushing through and really going to different classes. So I do miss being in New York City, where we used to go to classes every second day and really push and really challenge yourself. So I do want to do more and push myself more into that world. If I could do nothing else and just act, I would just act. But the other things that I do that pay a lot more money are like my side chicks. You know what I mean? And I just try and be able to have so much money so that I can say yes to the rates. Because to be truthfully honest, what I make in a film set in a day, doing comedy or emceeing, I can make that times 4 in 4 hours.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's always crazy to look at the rates, and that's why, like when I was younger, I used to think, TV and film, you think is more than a commercial, but there's so much money in commercials and products and shit like that. So it never. But even so, like any film you're on, there's always different rates. There's always different rates. So, one job that I did like 10 years ago, I'll get paid so much more money to what it is now, and it's always.
So film
changing.
always comes first. Over money continues. Like film comes first always. But there's something so beautiful. There's something so like.
But it's there forever. That's the thing. It's there forever. It's like when I made Fry Barry. Always wanted to make a feature film, and then I spent my whole life waiting to get to this point. And now that I've done it, now it's another story. It's now trying to do another one. But it's still amazing to think that this film, I have the like poster on the wall. It just reminds me like it's out there. It's for it's not sitting on a back shelf somewhere. It's out there that anybody around the world can like watch it and go check it out. And I think that's the thing with commercials. It comes out and then it's gone. And then it's old, or like a TV series. A lot of people watch TV series now, and then once it's done, it's done. It's like we'll watch the next thing. But I think with films and certain series, especially films, it's there for life. You've just captured this thing, and it'll always be there. And I'm like, I find myself going to visit like older films. You know, when you watch stuff and you're like, this crap, and then you end up going watching like an old film because you love it, you know it's good, you've seen it 100 times, and you still enjoy it, and you'll still watch
Redemption.
it.
The other day I watched Gladiator, Last Samurai. Watch the shit over and over. Film's beautiful, man.
Yeah. I think I watch probably about three films a day. Normally, about 3 films a day. But it's it's checking out new stuff, but mainly it's going back to like 70s, 80s, early 90s movies. And for me, I think it's the 80s. 80s just had this like look and feel, and so like what films did you grow up on? Like what films did you that made you either want to get into film or just like was a big part of your childhood?
Like my mother was very passionate about like things with meaning, you know what I mean? She loved Sarafina. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? When we were kids, we watched that over and over. I loved musicals, Grease. My mother was all passionate about Grease and really passionate about musicals. And, you know, it wasn't like spectacles, like, you know, the most arty films in the world. Yeah. But I always knew I was destined to entertain. Yeah. My mother always pushed that. And she was always like, no, man, you're special. Yeah. You're special, do something. But I definitely feel like, you know, in the 90s, then I became a bit like 90s, early 2000s. Yeah. Then I became a bit more obsessed with film and going to Cinema Nouveau when you go buy 2 for 1 on a Tuesday at Cavendish Square, watch and consume so much film. Like very critical. Like I'm very critical. I'm very, very fucking critical because I want people to be critical of me. And I want to be able to push and be able to be that actor that you like. You're not sure why you like watching him, but you like watching him. I just love film, man. I love film.
That's what I think. As long as you're learning, you know, I think it's not enough people say it, but it's so great when you do learn something and you're like, fuck. It's great that you can still be doing what you've been doing for so long, but you're still learning new stuff, and that's how you grow. You know, and I think it's important to, you know, push yourself in certain things and learn more stuff. And you know, even as a director, you know, like years ago I didn't know a lot about like lenses and stuff like that. And as you know, time goes on, you start to learn more and more, and it's great to know the ins and outs of every department in filmmaking, just so you get it, you understand it.
You know, film, people don't. I said to a friend of mine who was just doing his first film recently, and I was just like, film is an army, a gigantic army. You know, everyone has their roles, but we all go to war with each other. And we all have one single goal. But there is a respect, there is a hierarchy.
But we're all on the same side.
We're on the same side, we have the same mission. Internally there's fights here and there or disagreements, but at the end of the day, the mission is that we need to achieve the goal at hand. And if you don't understand that as film, like, but there is no end goal, and we won't get to our end goal if we don't have coffee. Or we don't have tea. Or we don't have the what's it called? The tomato and cheese toasted sandwiches. You know what I mean?
Gotta have that sub.
You know what I mean? So for me, everyone deserves respect.
Absolutely.
Everyone deserves respect on set. And for me, the easiest way, which you die to me, is if you treat other people badly who 100%. Are part of the crew and you're an actor. I don't give a flying fuck who you are. If you treat the person who makes Mike, cheese and tomato sandwich badly. No, you're treating me badly because this person we're going to war together.
No, absolutely. I've always had time for everybody, from the guy that's making the sandwiches to the PA or whatever. It doesn't matter because we're all in this together. And, you know, even when I made Fry Barry, I've said this before, where, dude, the amount of cucumbers I cut, you know, and you know, just to make these like sub rolls for lunch or dinner time, I'd make like spaghetti or curry or chili con carne, and like I give a shit. I give a shit that everybody's happy. I give a shit that we're all in this together, and to make sure that, you know, everybody's happy. And even if it's just say, hey, you're okay, everything's good, you know, and it matters. So I always think it's so important that, you know, no matter if you're a HOD or whatever, just like we're all on the same side. Bro. Like fucking give it. And, you know, I always say it takes 2 seconds to have a bit of respect and a bit of fucking manners. And, you know, that's why, you know, these people do exist when you get these divas on set, and I'm just like, what's the point, man? You've come here to work, just like everybody else. You've come, you know, you've come here to do a job, and it's important to that. It changes everything if everybody is in a good mood and everybody's happy, and we're making this thing together because we all love doing film, and that's why we're here. That we're here to do this thing all together, and it just matters, and it changes the result what you see on the screen. I truly believe that. Yeah. And then now with like what role have you done in your career that you know that you really look at and be like, fuck, that was something really special to me that you've done?
Grade 12, I played Macduff in an African version of Macbeth. Grade 12. I really, really loved it. You know, just Shakespeare is a difficult thing that I hate. I really, really enjoyed that moment. Then in Woman King, which is another cliche, it's a big Hollywood blockbuster. But I enjoyed that experience career-wise, but I think the best work I've ever done in my career definitely goes to Still Breathing on Mnet. Okay. Playing an older character, playing a doctor, playing a father. And what I'm about to say, I was going to seem so stupid, but I don't see enough black doctors on television. I don't see enough black people playing fathers, good fathers, single fathers. Yeah. So for me, and you don't really realize it. You like, do yourself a favor, watch film, right? And then try to count how many times you see a black person playing a doctor.
Yeah.
Or a black guy playing a father.
Well, sometimes it's always typecast. Well, it's either a white dude or an Indian guy.
Yeah, but you don't even. You don't even know you're doing it. You don't even know when you're casting. You don't even know you're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same as. Did you watch Beef on Netflix?
Yeah.
Why do you think Beef was good?
It's just fucking good. It's written well, directed well, great actors.
Do you think Beast would have been as good if it was two white actors beefing like that? Just think about it, because I was watching it going, is it that revolutionary, or is it revolutionary to see an Asian Americans in their own entire world? Because I don't think Beef would have worked if it was two white people, or I don't think Beef would have worked if it was two black people.
Yeah,
beefing.
I don't know.
Because for me, have you ever seen it? Have you ever seen a film that was all Asian American?
No.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
But
it's just written so well, man. The characters.
Agreed. But when I watched it, I was like, what is it about it? I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah. But it's still in that A24 world.
Yeah. But my thing is that I realized that I've never seen that world. Yeah. There was one shot when they had a church. It was all Asian American. Yeah. Have you ever seen a church with all Asian Americans? You know what I mean? So I think for me, I'm seeing a lot of film and I'm like, I don't want people to force integration. Yeah. Don't force fucking integration. Yeah. You know, don't force integration. That's what I'm asking for. Yeah. But if there's a world that is there, let's talk about it. You know, like, I'm not the kind of guy who's like, I want to see a black Relax. Relax.
So I've spoken about this before. I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
So, you know, talking about like a black Superman or something like that. So, for example, you know, there was a lot of talk about the next James Bond being black. So I say personally, you know, because from the novels, from the books back in the day, it was always, you know, a white guy. But then I've always said, you know, if they want to make a woman James Bond or a black James Bond, it can just be like 008, 010, same fucking character. Yeah. But it's just like, I've always thought James Bond is white. And then, and then, you know, if people get funny about it, you know, I'm just saying what I feel, what I think. But I always compare it to Shaft. So Shaft was Richard Roundtree, and Shaft has to be black. You can't have a white Shaft. And I said this in another podcast, and it's so funny because it's like, you can't have a fucking white Shaft. It has to be a black dude. It has to be a black dude. And I saw an article the other day that there was that Daniel Craig was optioned to play a white Shaft, and I was just like, no, like, what the fuck?
You know, I'm a weird guy. Like, for me, I just go. For example, do we know a cooler guy than Idris Elba? Like, Idris Elba is cool as fuck.
Yeah.
I don't think he has to play James Bond. I don't think there's other cool characters you can play. I don't give a fuck what color fucking James Bond is at the end of the day. I've never watched a James Bond in my life.
Oh really?
I don't give a fuck about James Bond, to be truly honest. But for me, I think if someone's great at their job, do the fucking job. But I do think 007 can be what? I don't give a fuck. I have actually no view at all. I have no view at all. Like even fucking what I do think is funny, right? So let me be honest, I don't have a view on if someone should be black or white as James Bond. What I do have a view on is a white population screaming and shouting when they find out Little Mermaid is black. When Little Mermaid is a fucking fake character, you fuck dumb idiot pieces of shit. You know what I mean? So we can't be arguing about that. That's the weirdest thing in the world. Like I heard something about Will Smith playing Hitler. That's another what? Is that a joke? I don't know. But I'm not all about force integration. That force bullshit is not. But I do think there are worlds that we haven't spoken about. That I think we can speak about.
I always say, I'm picking out character. I'm picking out like iconic characters, and that's why I said James Bond, and that's why I said Shaft. But like with anything, it's just like if you're fucking good, you're good. If you're fucking great at your job and the best guy gets the job, that is the bottom line. It doesn't matter who the fuck you are if you're fucking good. I mean, it's like looking at Everything Everywhere All at Once. Having that Asian cast. And it's a fucking brilliant movie. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's unbelievable. It's a brilliant movie. I love the feel.
Do you think it would be as revolutionary if it was an all-white cast?
No.
You see what I'm talking about? Or you talk about watching Parasite. There was something there.
Absolutely.
But then my South Korean friends are going, "What? This cuck, bro? They were saying that's entry level." For a lot of the Korean content.
We see. I also believe that
timing is everything.
But it's also like there's those certain people that'll go, I won't watch black and white films, or I don't like watching films with subtitles and stuff like that. I mean, when I grew up, I was watching like a lot of Asian cinema and stuff like that, or French cinema, and like when I think back watching all the Golden Harvest Jackie Chan movies, or when you check out like John Woo and like A Better Tomorrow and all those action films, they were fucking brilliant. They were better than the Americans by far with the action stuff, like by far. And even now with like I was speaking to Hazel the other day, even with like horror, like with the Japanese cinema making horror, they're fucking brilliant at it. And that's the thing. It's funny that you have these certain people in certain areas that do things way fucking better, and then what the Americans do, they end up copying it and trying, and it's just not the fucking same, But so right now, where you are in your career, what is that role that I think every actor has that role that you would love to do. What's that role that you would love to play and have that challenge of bringing that character to life?
I'm looking forward to. This is like a dream. I think for me, I think my dreams and my ambitions scare me. So I don't even think what I want to do is even in my realm of possibility and world. But I am working at the moment to do my drag character do her first film role.
Okay.
So playing 2 roles in a film, one of them drag, one of them not. I look forward to doing that. There could be backlash because people are being sensitive at the moment.
I think everybody's fucking too sensitive.
Yeah,
now.
way too fucking sensitive. But hey,
but doesn't that like annoy
you? For me, so let me tell you one thing. Like I said to someone, I posted something and someone attacked me, and I said to them, "Well, that's the beauty of the world." It's like I'm not going to delete your comment. I'm going to keep it right there. And the beauty is that we're all allowed to have our own opinion. I don't give a flying fuck. Everyone's sensitive as fuck. I can't wait to get over it. And for me, I am so happy in my own skin. I ain't gonna fuck what anyone thinks. I do what the fuck I want as long as I'm not hurting anyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I just want to challenge, man. Can I be honest? For me, what irritates me the most at the moment is, I've done like 40-something film and TV series, like 40-something, 40 odd. My IMDb says 42, but I've done more. And I'm not known for being talented. I'm known for being a hard worker. I'm known for being multi-versatile kind of a thing. But I think having a big personality makes people think, oh, wait, it's just his personality. No, there's more to it. So I just want to work harder and just be able to be recognized for talent, man. I think now I'm recognized more for my the work that I do in communities and being outspoken.
Yeah. Well, dude, you're killing it. Thank you so much for doing this interview, and it's always a pleasure. And I'm still excited to work with you properly.
Let's make some magic. Congrats on all these awards. Please take a cut of all these awards, man. Work harder. And for me, at the moment, my only mission and goal is just to make my mother proud, who passed away in August. Everything else doesn't really fucking matter, man.
Yeah.
Fuck everything else. And once you lose your everything, you realize that this is all a lot of bullshit. So now I have some of my mom's ashes right next to all my awards. Yeah. And if you could tell me if I had to give those all awards away, I'll give them all away in a heartbeat just to be able to have her back, you know.
Sorry, man.
So yeah, man, thanks so much. Congratulations on everything.
Cool.
Wow. Fishies!